We'll start early. Look at this. Look at this, huh? Huh? Good morning, Coronachan is back. Because I slayed the chore monster. I defeated my house. My house is under my control. There's nothing left to do from watering to installing handles and shelves, even the thing that goes around the fireplace so the rest of the floor doesn't catch on fire. It is Good Morning Coronachan. We're back. And yeah, we're here. I hate we're going to start with hiking. I want to tell you about hiking, and we'll get to the rest of the stuff. Let me tell you about how I'm going to explain hiking to you. If you don't hike a lot, there are the roads and then there's the wilderness. Okay, that's pretty much everybody's experience with mountains and hiking. Like, okay, we're on the road. This is civilization, but out there is the wilderness. And a lot of people, especially if you come to the upper Midwest, it's heavily forested. And I had some friends in Wyoming and from the desert, Arizona, all that. They'd come in like, where are we? Are there bears out here? Well, actually, yeah, there are bears out there. Some mountain lions too. But because the trees and the foliage is so thick and you're going down this road and you can't see more than 50 yards away, as far as your brain is saying, like, that's the wilderness, that's the tundra. Now, little do you know, if you grew up there, on the other side of that line of trees is the big-ass McMansion development, which a bunch of fuckwit assholes from Every Day I Need Attention and Eden Prairie. So it's nowhere near as... Daniel Boone is not killing a mountain lion with a stick on the other side of that tree line. But when you get out west, that does kind of become the case. And you point in any direction, yeah, there's a road that direction, but it could be 50 miles, especially if you're in the desert. But if you're in the desert and there ain't no foliage and you're high up enough, you'll have kind of not necessarily the opposite reaction or experience, but you can see cars way off in the distance, literally 30. If you're up on a high enough hill, you could see 40 miles away. You'd be on top of a mountain. But there's been times where I'm up on a hill, commonly like, yeah, it's about 20 clicks away. And you just see little white light kind of going off on the horizon at night or dusk, slowly going across. And that's it. You sit there and wait. And like, well, hopefully there's other lights going across to indicate, one, civilization, and two, other roads. Nope, that's the only road out there. So if you wanna go to the next stage of civilization, the next road, that's a long ass haul. You better have some water or whatever it is like that. But you don't have that with trees. Now, South Dakota, especially with the Black Hills anyway, the rest of South Dakota is kind of desert-like. It's thick. And it's mountains. It's not like, oh, it's flat and we just walk on a flat. No, you got to go up hills and mountains and things. And so it's not as bad as the Himalayas, but it ain't no walk in the park. And so what I like to do, and I don't know if this is any other hikers, is I'm trying to map the area in my mind. And yeah, we got digital maps. We got Google. And tragically, like no more than 10 years ago, you had to print off a physical map. You had to go down to the Bureau of Land Management of the Forest Service and get a big ass map. It was big and it was laminated, it was waterproofed, and it would show you very precisely, like, yeah, this is public land. You could go here. That's private land. That's Rancher Joe's property. You don't go over there because Rancher Joe can shoot you. Rancher Joe don't want you harassing his cattle or whatever, And they were very helpful maps. You're like, oh, okay, here. I mean, very precise. Oh, okay, yeah. Here's that bend in this stream, not river, stream. Oh, yeah, here's this little hill, and it's topographical, So you get them at. Now, no, they got enough radio towers, cell phone towers, that you get reception pretty much everywhere now, except way out. If you got to go all the way out to Wyoming almost to not get it. But now you can't get lost. You know exactly where you are according to this map, but it still ain't the same thing up here. And what I like to do is I like to connect. Like Athab looked this up. If you look up Badlands National Park, on the southern end of it, the far southern boundary of it is Highway 44. And on the northern end is the main road that goes through the park. And what most people do, you're up on top of that main road. It just drives past the northern part of the park where the formations start to form. And all the fat people including tourists from out of country, all the fat people, pull over, you look at it, you take a picture of it. I hiked both east, west, north, south in that thing without cell phone. But I went all the way from one road to a point that I had to hike back because it's actually, God, what was it? I think it's 20 miles straight, and in desert, it's technically a desert. You don't want to get heat stroke and not get picked up out there. So I hiked one way and back, and then I came from the other side later on, several years later, one way and back, got to the same knoll. I'm like, up here I am. I have my little rock pile, my cairn. So I've hiked through it, I guess technically twice. And then the east-west, that was actually easy because you go to the Kanata Basin, but that's neither here nor there. But then in my mind, I know what's out there. I look. I say, no, I know what's out there. Highway 44 is out there. And I kind of get familiar with the lay of the land. I don't know if it's a guy thing or survival thing or what, but I want to know what's out there. Same thing, even though this was with a four-wheeler. Some friends came over, we got a four-wheeler. First time I ever went four-wheeling. And there's a road, Highway 14. Have them look it up. Everybody look it up. It's the road that connects Sturgis, when the motorcycle rally is, to Deadwood, which is where the gambling is. It's a cool little town. It's worth checking out if you come out to the Black Hills. It runs more or less east or west. And always to the south, because there aren't any roads out there. There really isn't, because the main roads go south. So you're looking like there's nothing there. What's there? There's nothing. Well, I ended up exploring a little bit with my truck and doing some hiking. Found a town called Galena, and it's there, and there's hills and mountains and everything. And ended up getting a four-wheeler. I'm like, we got enough gas? Let's do it. And we went through all these trails and things and past foresters and trucks. Actually, they're big log cutting equipment. And then sure enough, I'm like, I was on this trail. I know where we are. Boom, there's pavement. Highway 14. Now I know it. It's mapped. It's kind of like Far Cry when you liberate a radio tower. Anybody get that one? Anyone get that obscure joke or reference? And so now see, I'm starting to map it out. I'm getting a real good, it's not back of hand status yet. It's not, the Black Hills is not back of hand status yet. There's still a lot I got to cover, but I'm getting there. And they're, for lack of a better word, a valley, but there's multiple streams and rivers. So an area. So if you drew a circle, it's Rapid City. All right. And you drew two lines directly to its west, to the left of that circle. And you put a couple inches in between it. That's the area I want to hike. And the northern road that you drew in there, that would be 44, I think. Yeah, it's 44. That's the one that goes all the way to the Badlands. And then down below is Sheridan Lake Road. And if you're driving on Highway 44, you look either way, wilderness, cliffs, mountains, can't see nothing. Okay, there's a nice little cabin somebody built. You're like, wow, there ain't nothing out here. You go down the Sheridan Lake Road, same thing, nothing. But they're like, there's a way to get, I bet you there's, and sure enough, so you go on the Google Maps, and there's this entire area called Victoria Lake Road. And there's multiple Victoria Lake roads, so you get lost. And then there's trails, but it's completely worthless because if you look at the trails, the Victoria Lake Loop, like a 15-mile loop, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to explore that entire, no, don't even bother because they don't have it mapped out, and there's a ton of other trails. You'll get lost. So what my goal was to connect, to map it out in my mind, to get to back of hand status. I was going to gut right all the way up straight north and get to the Rapid Creek. And that's where Highway 44 follows Rapid Creek. That's the main river that comes out of the Black Hills and inevitably feeds off into the Missouri River. And that's what I want to do. I want to get to Rapid Creek and then even ford it, or was it fjord it, cross it, because it's not that deep this time of year. And then get up to Highway 44. Then I'm like, yes, I did it. I made it from Sheridan Lake Road to Highway 44. I made it and I connected it. So I get the maps on the YouTubes and the Googles. I get the thing. I'm like, okay, I keep going that way. And so I go north and I'm like, well, this isn't like, screw it. I know north and south. Plus, I got cell phone reception. So there's no risk. It kind of took some of the adventure away. I'm like, I know exactly where I am. I get to this road, this dirt road. I'm like, okay, this is going to get me to the next hill. I'll go up over that hill, and then that should start the next valley for Rapid Creek, and boom, Highway 44. Big old sign. big, like fence, metal fence. Like you could not push through this fence with a vehicle. Private property, no trespassing. I'm like, where the fuck did this come from? Who, how, why how long did this thing, who owned this property? When did they buy it? I'm supposed to be in the wilderness, supposed to be like, not Bureau land, BLM land too, but Black Hills National Forest. So supposed to be a national forest. Well, somebody, I don't know who, probably some prepper or somebody wanted to really be left alone, buys a big old piece of property, puts the line up, and then just in case you were wondering, looters, yeah, they will shoot you. And they'll be within their legal rights. Like shit. Like private property means private property. I know in the Twin Cities, and we'll get to that later, it's not really your property. It's more of the community's property in this HOA called the City of Minneapolis, the City of St. Paul, City of Parasites. The Twin Cities City of Parasites. Yay. But no, they mean that's that guy's land. Don't you fuck with it. Oh, did you die? Oh, you're just a good boy who didn't do nothing. Well, the problem is it doesn't matter if you're a good boy. You did do something. You stepped 1 inch on that person's property and then they shot you. And now, unfortunately, the law is for your good boy who didn't do nothing is that there's no recompense because he trespassed. And so now I got to find a different way back. So I go down a different road. Curiously enough, there's another military grade fence, but this one's open. And it says private property on the side. If you closed it, would be opposite of the side I was on. So I'm thinking like, well, was I accidentally trespassing on this guy's property? And this fence, like he has 2 fences. This one says private property, stay off. But in case you just blow past that one and make it up the hill a little bit further, you go to his other sign and says, no, I really mean it. You stay off this land. I'm like, oh crap, I've been trespassing. It happens sometimes because maps suck. So I'm like, okay, so on the other side of this fence is public land. I can hike there. So I go past it. There's a ranch. I'm like, damn it. Somebody else's private property. And they're home. Now the ranch is a distance away, but I can hear them. And then I pull out my paper because I didn't know if I'd have solid. I'm like looking at my phone like, hey, I'm just lost. Giving all I knew exactly where I was. I had cell phone reception. But just so he didn't shoot me and I didn't seem to be rude. Like, yeah, I'm here to steal your cattle. Oh, I didn't see any cattle. So I'm following the road. I'm like, I know there's better be public land on the other side of this fence. I don't want to go to a third private property. So I got to hop the fence. It looked like it was electric. I tapped it. It wasn't electric. I rolled underneath it. And I get there and I'm finally on public land and I hike all the way back. That's day 1. All right, day 2. We're going to take a look at this map again. Because I remember we'll just go further west. I'm going to try a different route to get to Rapid Creek, to get to Highway 44. Okay? Because I was only like maybe 3 miles to 44 the first time. I could have made it. So I'm going to go further west. There's an artery of Victoria Lake Road. And then you could see it. And it's really cool if you look at the topographical map because you're going up and down hills, straight north. You go over a couple creeks. And you go down to Big Valley Rapid Creek. Rapid Creek is like the Mississippi River of the western side. It's the largest creek. It's not even a river. It's just a creek. But it's the biggest one we got. And you can see it. There's a town called Heisiga. Right across town, crossroads. And there's Highway 44. But what was really cool is the topographical map showed that there are cliffs that you can't see because you're stuck in civilization on Highway 44. And the trees prevent you from seeing this awesome cliff. I'm looking at the topographical map and the terrain. I'm like, boy, this is going to be some really nice terrain. This will be really cool. And so I'm looking at the trail goes, it hangs a left, and it stops at Rapid Creek. I'm like, how awesome would that be? I'll go to Rapid Creek. Worst case scenario, because the sun sets now so early, I got to hoof it back real quick. Worst case scenario, I'll dip my toe in Rapid Creek, say I touched Rapid Creek, and then I'll go back. But if I can I can't get across, because if you got across, there's a cliff straight up. But if you waded down the creek a little bit, you could get to, I think, what was a campground, and there's an actual dirt road that goes up to Highway 44. I'm thinking like, that's it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do old school bushwhacking. I'm going to pass this creek like a kidney stone. I'm going to get up that hill. I'm going to get to Highway 44. I'm going to hike back, and I'm going to, in my own mind, award myself man points. Because as I've found out, it's so sad. It's so sad. Like, I thought it was little kids at first who were stuck with their phones. Like this goes back 10, 15 years. Like, hey, I did this and I climbed that and I did that amazing physical thing. And I was on top of that canyon over there. And there were little kids in my life at the time, not so little kids now. Oh, why would you do that? I'm like, give me a damn cell phone. Give me a damn tablet. What do you mean why I did that? Look at that. It's awesome. Don't you wonder what's out there? No. Something like, the kids aren't that impressed, but the adults, people my age, maybe a little bit younger, adults, they'll appreciate it, the city dwellers, the city slickers. I'll take them out into the middle of nowhere. And that same thing. Oh, I climbed that and I did this and I crossed all the way over here and I almost got to Terry Peak until I didn't realize, oh, wait, those are the cell phone towers of Terry Peak or the radio towers. Oh, Badlands National Park. Yeah, I hike all the way clear across there and all the way clear across there. It's great. You should see it out there. Oh, that's nice. What? And then you're kind of like, you know what? Why are you even here, man? Why do you care to go to the physical parks or forests or anything if it's just a vision? If it's just to look at it, don't you want to go and explore it and be out there, or at least the wonderment? I wonder what's out there. And all you're like, oh, okay. And then at that point, it's like, well, okay, if you're just going for a vision, why not just look at pictures? Just go on the internet, look at pictures. Because if it's going to be meh, like I found fossils, I found agates. I thought that was kind of cool. I thought that was kind of neato. No one's impressed. No one's impressed. What are they impressed with? I don't know. Aaron Rodgers threw a ball good. I have no idea what people are impressed with anymore. I say, it doesn't matter to me though. I'm gonna do it for my own sake. But I thought it'd be pretty cool. Like, yeah, I hiked all the way. I crossed that terrain, that wilderness. I tamed it. I own that fucking land. Actually, I don't. The private property people do, who unfortunately I've probably perturbed a little bit. But in metaphorical sense, I know what's out there. I made it over that hill. Made it over that mountain. God, the time I was hiking out near Nemo. Oh, I found a mountain lion. I don't know if I told you guys that. Big mountain. Oh. Yeah, now I carry my gun all the time. Oh my goodness. I've seen mountain lions before, like in zoos, a couple times in Wisconsin. And they're big. They're the biggest cat you're going to see, except for a lion maybe. And you're like, oh yeah, that could take me down. This one was a monster. This was by far the biggest mountain lion I've ever seen. And he had a nice full coat. He was not missing no meals. And thank God I spooked him. I don't know how you spook him out. He probably knew I was coming because obviously they got heightened scent and they're better predators. But I don't know. He was behind a tree and I was hiking down a hill. And I won't lie, it was raining at the time and puddles were forming on the trail. But since it was on a mountain, the puddles were almost to the edge of that trail and then would go downhill. So I was digging dirt out to make like a little waterfall happen. And I watched the pool of, the pond or the puddle of water drain out. I'm like, no man really matures past the 4th grade. Not really. Nope. Literally 46 years old, stick in the mud, dragging it out like, these are the things that you would do in the 80s. That's what we had before the video games. Anyway, so then I just walk a couple more feet, rustling, boom. Didn't dart out mad dash like he was afraid of me, but he didn't want to have anything to do with me, and that was fine by me. But man, he was big. Big. Adventure. That's a story I get to tell. Nobody else gets to tell that story. Everyone, I got level 74 2B with gold clusters on the Call of Duty game. Which is fun. I play Call of Duty, but it's not my thing. Ooh, I got a blue check mark on my social media thing. I saw a mountain lion. I was unarmed. How's that for a story? Did you find some more fossils, Clary? Yeah, I did actually. Over by Lake Angostura. And over by scenic South Dakota. Everybody look. Yes. What I really get a kick out of it, this is hilarious. Because I'm old, but I still accidentally meander, wander, trespass, if you will, into the younger people's, into the youths and the youngins' lives in the digital world. But if you go and look at my Instagram, I got an Instagram page, by the way. You can see my Instagram. Nearly all of it is just pictures of hikes or motorcycle rides and views and vistas. And the second most common picture you're going to see is me just giving the finger, probably at a cigar lounge or whatever else. Usually in part because Chad or Atham has sent us, we're on the same text. They'll send a picture of giving the finger. I'll send a picture in return. I'm like, hey, I'll go on Instagram because no one's seen me give the finger before. And so that's basically my Instagram account, is just pictures of the West in various locations and adventures, and one in every 4 picture of me giving a finger. That's about it. But now, according to these guys, Fresh and Fit, they say that Instagram is like the dating site. That's the new dating site. And this weird competition or hierarchy or prestige hierarchy has formed, where if you have to have a lot of followers on Instagram, and you got to have pictures of yourself posing and looking cool and like a dating profile or something like that. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, compared to everybody else's Instagram account, mine must be pretty cool because it ain't all me. I mean, yeah, there's me giving the finger, but hey, there's a picture of this thing, there's a picture of that thing. And I was wondering, like, if we were to do an analysis of Instagram, because I have seen gals' Instagrams as well, but I never really paid attention. But I do know, what girls take pictures of for their Instagram? Themselves. Because your life sucks so much. You suck so much as a person. You have nothing else going on in your life. The most interesting thing to you is yourself and how you look, which you get to see every freaking morning in the mirror. Or anytime you go to the bathroom, in case you have a mirror while you urinate or poo. I don't know where people put mirrors. I'm just saying, you make an entrance into the bathroom. There's usually a mirror there. Hey, it's me again. Look, I look the same. And not only do I think, like, how vain and how lifeless is your life? Like, let me take pictures of myself. Hey guys, duck lips and shit. Do they still do duck lips? What's the new thing they do now? Is they hands on hip, hey, sticking their butt out because the media and the brothers said, yeah, we like bubbly butts. It's like, you might like bubbly butts. I like an intersection of legs. That's why I want a singularity of two lines coming to a point. That's kind of what well, maybe not. I do like a little bit of shape. Then I'm thinking, like, how boring are most people's Instagrams? How vain is it? You just, especially the gals, like, it's just pictures of you. All right, what have you done? How telling is that to Instagram? Like, Instagram tells you all you probably need to know about someone. What they value, what's important, what their hobbies are. And if a woman's hobbies is herself, holy cow, what a fun ball of wax she's going to be to date. But then you go on, now let's say, okay, it is a dating profile, effectively, all right? All right, so I understand you taking pictures of yourself, try and put your best life forward. Shouldn't you post pictures of what you do? Does that occur to girls? On one hand, we want men to like us for what we do and our things and our accomplishments. Like, well, we're waiting for you to post those. But then you post pictures of yourselves. Well, which is it? I don't want to be objectified. You should objectify women. We're so much more than that. We're so much deeper. All right, well, show us your depth. Show us your accomplishments. Show us your agates you found. Show us the fossils you found. Show us some pictures of your motorcycle ride. Show us something. No, just pictures of yourself. Well, oh, wait, hang on. Sometimes they take pictures of the food they didn't prepare and paid someone else to eat. With the humble brag, is that how it works? Look, I'm at a fancy restaurant. Me, 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 me. Hey, are you that girl that posts pictures of yourself all the time? You're the me girl. I want to go out with you. Good, you could go out with me, but you have to talk about me all the time. I'll talk about me all the time and how I look. Yay. Yeah, but just I'm kind of like, I gotta do that. I gotta go on Instagram. Like Vince over at Masculine Geeks. One of the best gay podcasts out there. If part of the homosexual community, tune in. He'll post a picture of cigars or books he's reading or his cat. I appreciate Mowgli. Mowgli's a cool cat because Mowgli does cool things. And he's that, but man, I mean, it really, I maybe I should spend a little bit more time on the Instagram. See who's posting pictures of action versus pictures of themselves. So we got that there. All right. I saw a super chat come in. JJ Lovecraft, $5. Cappy, could you do a live about basket weaving? You could do a live about basket weaving. I would listen with the rapt attention of a 6-year-old watching a scary movie. I don't know if I could do basket weaving. Oh, so I didn't get to the rest of my story. So I'm trying to figure a way to get to Rapid City. And so here's this trail, right? This trail, it's like a redhead with big old titties. She's got this little micro bikini on, just barely covering. That's how tempting this one was. This micro bikini barely covering anything, just barely legal. Not in an age sense. I mean, in a public presentation sense. Like, come on, Cappy, come hike me. I'm like, oh, I'm going to hike this and I'm going to get up there. So I could see Rapid Creek. I made it like 99% of the way. I curve around this corner. It goes straight. What do I see? A fence. And I see a sign and I can't make out the sign. I'm like, son of a bitch. Son of a fucking bitch. This should not, don't tell me this is another fucking private piece of property. Sure enough, I make it halfway down that corridor, private property still. And this is, again, an industrial weapons grade military installation. And I don't know what this guy had on his property. Maybe it was a gal. But man, I could see it. I could see it, guys. It would be like that gal with the red hair and the micro bikini, like posing and like, hi, I'm right over here on the other side of the fence. And I'm looking like, there's the creek. You can hear it even. Here it is, and bending around. There's that cliff. And if there wasn't a group of trees, I could probably have seen downstream enough, downstream to where I could have gotten up to Highway 44. Couldn't do it. Private property. I'm like, God damn it. And that's the problem with the internet. See, that's the problem. You need the physical maps. You need these physical Bureau of Land Management maps. And I went to the Forest Department, the Forest Service. I went, oh yeah, you have to have your mask because we're federal fucking pussies. Okay, so there you go. You all, oh, good for you. Oh, I'm such a good person. I'm such a good person. I'm a federal employee. So I grabbed a shirt, tied it around my face. Oh shit, that's right. You assholes still require a mask. I said I'd like a map because you get the maps. That's where you got the maps. You go to the federal office. Can I get a map? We're out of those. How are you out of fucking maps? Well, you see, we're already incompetent because we're government, right? Yeah. And the shutdowns, yeah. And then we're totally reliant upon young people to, like, with their forest management degrees, environmental science degrees, to come work for us. So they didn't show up. And we don't have our maps anymore because we can't print fucking maps. But download this app. Oh, fuck you, lady. Fuck you. And here's the problem with the downloading the apps. What if I don't have reception? That doesn't tell me where I am. What if I can't get, so I got to download, I got a map on, now I'm doing this. How the fuck am I? I don't got no big fucking blanket size map that's waterproof like a real map. You hold that map, you get like a 20% boost in testosterone. Like, this is a man's map, a testosterone map. Fucking little screen the size of TJ Martinell's dick. Fucking, oh, am I on that? Oh no, I zoomed too far left. I'm gonna spend 5 minutes finding my last location where 20 hours ago I had a cell phone reception. I gotta retrace my fucking step. Is that private property? Oh, the map doesn't tell you. The digital map, the TJ Martinell penis map, doesn't tell you where private property is. Now, who's calling now? No, I don't know who you are. Illinois, fuck off. They don't tell you where the private property is. And so that's the problem now. I go on these long ass hikes. I get 99% to my goal. You know, about to arrive. The second coming of Jesus. Nope. Private property. You know, as libertarian, not to mention somebody who doesn't want to get shot, you got to respect it. Like, fuck. And so that was it. So I gotta look at the map again. And I don't know. What I could do is I could come down the other way on 44, go south this time. And I really get a good topographical map, really get a lay for the land. Drop down on that campsite, fjord the river, whatever that word is. Forge? Is that what it is? Forge the river? Get across and then just bushwhack it through the guy's private property because he won't see me because I'm really in the thick of it then. And then just get to the other side of his fence. Then I can make it all the way across. Those are the problems. I guess I shouldn't complain because everybody else in the real world is like, their problems is, I don't have internet access, so I can't upgrade my character on Call of Duty. I'm not doing well on World of Warcraft. My sugar girl on the web girl camp thing hasn't posted any new pictures, I guess I can't complain. I still get to the point, though. I mean, like, Cappy trying to loosen up and relax. Especially, like, when you go and, like, there's supposed to be a marked trail. It's on the internet. People talk about it. They review the trail. Like, okay, there's a trail out there. And you get there. There's, like, an intersection with 5 different spokes going. Like, oh, come on, man. Come on. Which one is the fucking Victoria Loop Trail? Which one's the real one? You can look to see which one's more matted down. See if there's any indication which way to go. Now you feel like you're this Indian trail hunter back in the 1900s or 1800s, I guess. I'm going to track the antelope. Oh, God. I wonder if, like, in the olden times, before the settlers and the Europeans, was there a pissed off American Indian version of me? Was there a pissed off Aaron Indian, Cappy Indian? A curmudgeonly? There must have. Aaron Kimosabi. What do you want? We must hunt the antelope. Fuck you. I don't want to hunt the antelope. Oh, come on. Winter's coming. We're going to die. But, I'm going to fucking get my bow in there. I'll go find this fucking antelope. And then, the trail's marked. Who fucked with the trail? Fuck. God damn it. I told those kids not to fuck with the trail. Good news, no private property. You just meander, and all of a sudden you have ran afoul of, the Ojibwe or the Blackfoot. And they shot you too. They shot you too. It was not fun times. There had to be a pissed every culture just must have had a pissed off old man. They must have. All right. I got a couple more super chats here. Stay on top of this today. JJL Lovecraft, $5 again. Society went away from religion, which would have been good, but then people started worshiping themselves. The Hegelian dialectic is, oh man, now I got to look up Hegelian dialectic. Well, I've said before, humans can't live without vice or religion. You need both. You need both. And the goody two shoes, good old Christians and all that, they got their religion, but they do have a vice. They just hide it very well. Maybe wifey poo likes getting spanked. Maybe she likes it rough and tumble. Maybe they're swingers clubs, which is not as exciting as you think it is. And they're not as good looking. That's all on the internets. Oh yeah, but yeah, I get a kick out of it. Oh, all those fools who believe in Christianity. I'm an atheist or agnostic. I'm so much more intelligent. Oh, I love socialism. It's like, you do know that socialism and communism has more empirical proof debunking it than any religion right now on the planet. You do know that, right? Like, a smarter person would believe in Christianity because it hasn't yet. I mean, theoretically, Islam, Judaism, Christianity, Buddhism, like, we don't know if it's not true. We got a pretty good idea. But we at least know communism doesn't work. We got that. How many more trial runs of this risking other people's lives? Millions, by the way, do you want to take a crack at it because you're too lazy to go work? So they'll believe in that. Or, as obviously worshiping themselves. Oh my God, women just love their vaginas. Instagram, a cathedral of women to themselves, each woman a church. And some vain men too, I'd add. Yep. No, we're so much above religion. We're so much more intellectual. Socialism, environmentalism, SJWism, wokeness. Oh, I'm such a good person. I mean, the parallels, like what was it? Yeah, the flagellation, where you punish yourself. I'm such a bad white person. I'm such a bad male. Yeah. Yep. Religion is beneath you, huh, buddy? Okay. All right. Boo da boo da boo, boo da boo da boo. Swallow blue. Oh, come on, load up. There we go. There's a paper shortage right now. I don't know. Is there? Is there? I don't know. I bought paper. I just think there's a competency shortage and a work ethic shortage. How can you not print maps? You're the U.S. effing Forest Service. Like, aside from imagining that you're taking care of the forest and the trees and forest management, you should be printing maps, so people don't get shot. Oh, and the lady at the office, standard older, not old Gen Xer, wasn't boomer, but old Gen Xer, haircut short, overweight, not super overweight, but kind of a natural granola overweight. Like, oh yeah, she hikes, but she indulges at home. And this is her life. She was a forest ranger, and that's her career, and all that the sun is setting on. And it's like, well, that was a lot of trees, wasn't it, lady? Yeah, you didn't need kids. You need a husband. You had your career playing campground counselor or whatever the heck you call it. Michael Hurlbut, new guy, $5. Young kids just don't appreciate the manliness and having a physical map in hand or adventure. Like, okay, I remember South Lyon, Michigan. Everybody look it up. Not exactly an unpopulated place, suburb of Detroit. And even going back into the 80s, this is a strip mall, there's a big high school, highway was right over there. Well, when you're a little 7-year-old, 8-year-old kid, my parents got divorced. My dad moved out to South Haven. So we go visit in Michigan. We'd spend summers with our dad. Well, a new area. And thankfully, we did get bikes. We got bikes. We'd strap those things on to the old station wagon in the hall. This is when station wagons were fine and you didn't have to wear seatbelts and kid seats weren't a thing. And we'd all fight over the front seat. And we'd have to meet out and measure out by the mileage who got to sit in the front seat. Listen to Bill Cosby tapes. That was one of the few memorable moments I had of those days. We'd listen to Bill Cosby tapes. That was funny. Baby Coach Wheels, that episode. Oh, Junior Barnes. Oh, Junior Barnes. You gunky. Anyway, so there was a development and there's a line of trees, right? You didn't know what was on the other side of the line of trees. The lost Iroquois nation could have been on the other side of that trees. It could have been a log cabin and somebody panning for gold. You didn't know what was on the other side of the tree. So you saw a trail, and you know what? That trail, probably the developers or the builders had gone up and down that trail a million times, beat the grass down, and it still remained. So we go up that trail on our bikes. We go through the forest, and we come out. Hey, there's a baseball diamond. Oh, baseball. What? Where are we? There was no internet. We didn't have a map. You know where you were? You're like half a mile away from the apartment, but you might as well have been 1,000 miles away because you didn't know where you were. You still don't know where north, south, east, and west was. I went back and visited. We were technically northwest. And you're like, there was a whole lake. It's so sad how small a radius you have if you're just a little kid. You don't have maps. You don't think about it. So we were there for like 2 years, 2 summers. Well, we went south. That's all of our exploration because the town was south. We go south. If we had just gone north, quarter mile, there's a big ass lake there. And as a kid, I'd be, oh man, I'd rather go to the lake. There's fish and turtles and frogs. You could have biked there easily. It was literally a quarter mile away, but we always hung a right out of the parking lot. But it was still, kids in the 80s were more manly than full-grown men today. At least had a little bit of a Goonies adventure. At least we went out on our little bikes. Boo-doo-boo-doo-boo. Thai Huando for €2. Indian cappy, streaming grumpy smoke signs. There must have been some beleaguered, besieged old grumpy Indian guy with the little nephews and nieces running around, making his life a pain in the ass, He's dealing with the idiot Indians. Like, look, we got to go over there and spook the antelope this way, you freaking morons. I don't think so, because, you couldn't have been stupid back in those days. Like, you had to be smart. You had to be on your game or you die. So I don't think the communal population of the American Indians back in the day was so lacking in street smarts, so naive, so stupid. Like, I think everyone had to kind of be, you die, you'd be bred out. So the idiocracy would not have formed to result in a perpetually pissed off American Indian cappy. Oh, I'm sure there was a guy who was particularly cantankerous because of genetics, but I think everyone's like, hey, winter's coming. All right. And the Sioux, that raid we did last year, yeah, that pissed them off. And they're going to come here and try and get our stuff. Now we better have our act together. I guarantee you there was no Edina American Indians. There was no Winnetka. You're like, I'm just going to sit here and can you go hunt the buffalo? There was no Instagram Indians back in the day. Those are real warriors, real hunters. Everybody worked. Obesity was not a problem. I'd still like to think there was a grumpy Indian. Our female agent in the field. MA, $5. Want Darwinism to kick in? Down the entire internet for a straight month. I don't know if Darwinism would kick in. You still have the infrastructure. You still have analog. I mean, all right. So instead of the combines driving on the farms by GPS, you just have the Farmer Joe drives it. What would happen is people would be like, there's no internet. And they'd go outside. What is that ball in the sky? It's bright. It burns. Oh, what's happening to my skin? It's becoming a nice complexion. No, I want to look like a Swede my entire life. Competent Man, $5. People will love this. Green Bay Packers are offering shares to the normies for $300 per share that have zero rights, but they line up to buy. Oh, God, yeah. Are they doing another issuing? Green Bay doing another issuing? I remember this, a teacher of mine. I'm a part shareholder of the Green Bay Packers. And when we were dumb and stupid kids, we were like, wow, that's kind of cool. And then I should have asked, well, why are you working here if you're part owner of the Green Bay Packers? Duh, I'm just a teacher. All right. Let's go through the super chat, and not super chats. Let's go through sponsors. Let me do this. Thor, if you know, I'm gonna put this in the chat room. His wife got paralyzed from the neck down in a horrific accident, and via a miracle, literal miracle, is able to move and feeling and walk again, barely. So there's a lot of reconstruction and treatment that she needs, and they're about $65,000 in the hole. I put the link down there below. They're at like $13,000, so they need $52,000. If you're looking to donate to a charity, please donate there. So we got that. My minimalism course will open the day after Thanksgiving, 12:01 a.m. on the 26th. It will be open until the end of November. I think November's only got 30 days, right? Probably not for regular listeners here because you guys probably all have your stuff together. But if you're new and you want to spend less than you make, you have a problem with spending, please take that class. With state income tax, it would be around $550. But if you use discount code CAPPY, you get $50 off. And I threw that in there to kind of take off the state sales tax. And so it's expensive, and I know all the Spurgs are like, OMG. I'm like, I'm the one that actually sells these things. I do make some sales, not a ton. I'd love to, hundreds of sales, but it is expensive. And I do that so that, one, I make money, but then two, you pay the F attention. Because if I charge you $20, you wouldn't do it. Pay you $500? Oh, you might have some skin in the game now. You might take this a little bit more seriously. Would you pay $500 to give up smoking? You would? Oh, would you pay $500 to give up eating horribly? You would? Would you pay $500 to give up spending more than you make? You would? Okay, we'll give it a shot. You're like, damn, I spent $500 on that. I better make this count. And you can find that on Teachable. Search the Cleary School of Economic Philosophy. But when you search it, don't search the Cleary School of Economic Philosophy. You have to search the Cleary School of Economic Philosophy. And I named it that because Teachable says, we got to name your school. I'm like, okay. I wanted to name it Clary Shit. Clary Shiznit, but I was like, okay, I'll call it the Cleary School of Economic Philosophy because that's kind of what it's going to be. Once I upload more classes, which when I get time, we'll do that. This is a good sign, though, on podcasting. First time we've had a Good Morning Coronachan in a while. Anyway, so you could sign up for the school. That doesn't mean the class. The class is not available. You could sign up for the school, and then that puts you on an email list, which I do not abuse. I only send it out like once a month when the class is open. I'll say, hey, the class is open. Here's the link. So keep an eye from a Teachable email account that's not spam. Check your spam folder. And if you want to sign up for it, email me at my Cappy account, and I'll send you a direct link, personally. But you can sign up for the school if you want. And so that'll be coming up. What else? thetextprofessor.com. Go to thetextprofessor.com if you want someone to do your texting for you. If you have a girl you'd like to meet, or you'd like to have someone set up a contact, what are they called? Cover letter for why can't I'm off my game. I just don't do the sponsors that well. Cover letter for a resume that the HR Kuanta hahas will kind of maybe like. HR Kuanta hahas don't like anything. They have no souls and they have no heart and they find no joy in anything. They only seek vengeance on innocent people. They say, Cappy, why would they seek vengeance upon innocent people just trying to find employment? These people didn't do anything to these HR people. Yes, but that's why HR women are so evil. They hate you and they hate everybody for reasons unknown. That is squarely like in that 50 plus range now. Those HR bints, I like to know where they are now. That's like their field is kind of gone away. It's replaced with text searching software algorithms. I want to know what their lives are like, being that pissed off and being that evil of a person, preventing people from getting employment because I didn't like his shoes. Ew. Yeah, it's only like that livelihood that person needs, lady. With your little witchcraft and your astrology sign and your tarot card reading, and that's what HR was. So you're fucking with people's livelihoods. I mean, they're literally looking at starvation and homelessness, and you're fucking around with, I don't like the fact he has an accent. I don't like his vibe. Fuck all of you. Fuck all of you. I hope you're miserable fat spinsters with cats and nobody likes you, because if you are an HR lady, you can't possibly be a good person. You cannot, one of those, I'm not talking benefits and compensation. You cutesy witches who thought you do your witchcraft in the 90s and the aughts and up to the teens. The 2010s. Yeah. Fucking evil pieces of shit. Hope you wasted your life, and you're not going to have anyone good in your life because you're not a good person. Because you believe in bullshit. But, hey, read your astrology sign and enjoy your cats and your dog rescue, by the way. No, and nobody likes you either. Nobody likes you. Like the tax collectors in the biblical times. Nobody likes you. Oh, dang, man, in the biblical times, you didn't get hit by a truck. Oh, but the biblical times, oh, no. Frank the tax collector, because, those are biblical names. He got hit by a herd of wandering buffalo or cattle. Darn. Too bad he's gone. And it'd be horrible, just horrible if HR ladies got hit by trucks. Just also the spree of HR ladies getting hit by trucks. Oh, darn. Anyway, if you want to deal with those people, go to thetextprofessor.com and he'll interact and speak psychotic bitchies. So he can maybe get him to hate you less. You'll never get him to like you. The best you can achieve with an HR lady is be BFF, but then they're still stabbing you in the back. Because you dated Johnny and I want to date Johnny. Oh, you childish, petulant little children in your make-believe jobs. BusinessBuyerAdvantage.com. Before you go and buy a company and buy a business, Why don't you go and have David over at businessbuyeradvantage.com analyze the company for you before you cash in your entire 401k IRA, or in the Canadian version, the RRSP. But don't worry, you guys got a social, so he'll just bail you out. Matter of fact, I don't even know why you would analyze whether or not buying a business is a good or bad idea or profitable, because the Canadian government will just bail you out no matter what. So do what you want, heart, money, follow, hobbies. Oh, it didn't work out. Trudeau, bail me out. I don't want to. Ain't that the truth? Like, from bankers to car companies to all the people majoring in the liberal arts, it really is just like, I want to do what I want to do the way I want to do it. It didn't work. Bail me out. And the government was like, okay, there you go. So essentially, there's like no connection to producing what matters in society or doing what the population wants or needs. It's just like, okay, we'll spend literally trillions of dollars in decades, create, so you can major in this dumb crap. You could start these dumb companies, and we'll bail you out. Because essentially, here we go. The United States, the economy is nothing but an economy of hobbyists. Sometimes there's production, sometimes there's not. We'll just print off more money and socialize those costs. So we're just a nation of hobbyists. I wonder how long that will last. Anyway, so if you did want to buy a business, you want to make sure you don't bankrupt yourself, go to businessbuyeradvantage.com. Pirate Book Takedown. Go to piratebooktakedown.com, where Doug will go and hunt the internet for anyone pirating your content. That could be books, that could be videos, that could be music, anything you created. If somebody's out there, Doug will go get it. And here's what's particularly malicious about Doug. What there will be, this is when I was looking at it, I'm like, holy crap, there's all these places that have my stuff for free. Well, you go to these sites and they claim to offer it, and you got to click on like several different links to go here, to go here, to go here. And if you go to that same website, it doesn't load the same way as it did before. And like, this kind of sounds scammy. Then you get to the point where like, well, we need your credit card. Like, So I say, Doug, leave those up. Leave those up. Don't send the DMCA takedown. And Doug is vicious. Like, he'll go after your internet provider. He'll go after the search engines. He'll say, like, this person is offering, make sure it never shows up in your search engine, which you can file now with Google and Bing. And good for them. Thank you for doing that, Google. One good thing. I mean, this guy, he makes their lives hell. He really does. And he's affordable. So if you're a content creator of some kind, a musician, an artist, a webcam Playboy girl, whatever, contact Doug over at piratebooktakedown.com. Academic composition, go to academiccomposition.com, where Alex and his crack team of writing staff will write your papers for you, because now we're going to school online, and school was a joke anyway. So just fuck it. Why bother? Half your classes have nothing to do with your degree. Just have his team write the papers for you so you get on with your life. You go make money. Besides which, most of you shouldn't be in school anyway. You're going to school online or at night, so you don't have to deal with the fucking psychopaths and the adult children. And then if you're looking for a job, you want to work remotely, academic composition. Like, if everything goes to south on me, like I get deplatformed and Amazon wants to take my books away or whatever. I'll probably go work for academic composition. I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. I'll fly off to some second world country where cost of living are low. I'll write the papers. It's okay with me. I'll listen to my jazz. Oh my God, I was listening to Rollo. I had a buddy, client, fan, whatever, kind of associate acquaintance. And he texts me, he says, "Yeah, I'm listening to Rollo." I'm like, yeah. He's like, man, that guy can talk. I'm like, yes, he can. He's like, I'd put a bullet in my head if I had to drive across the country with him. Yeah, probably would. He's not like that in person. If ever you were afraid, oh my God, what if I'd be stuck with Rollo on a cross-country trip? It's not going to be John Candy and Steve Martin not what was the one? Oh, come on. The Thanksgiving. It's coming up. It's Thanksgiving. Everyone should watch that. Help me out. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That's the one. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Great Thanksgiving movie. Yeah, it's not going to be like that. Rollo will not be John Candy in that movie. He's just passionate about his. I tune into Rollo. He just takes forever to get to the point, but the way he goes is very detailed and ingrained and entrenched. It's not light fluff. It's just like, oh my God, hang on. No wonder your books are 800 pages long. So academiccomposition.com, go there, do that. Tune into jazz. Non-communist science fiction.com. If you like science fiction, but you're sick and tired of the communist aspect of it, because that's all communist science fiction authors are, go to non-communistsciencefiction.com, where Michael Kingswood, you can get all of his books there, of which he is probably the most prolific writer I know. So if you want to get your science fiction itch scratched, and you don't want to be lectured or lorded with socialism, go to non-communistsciencefiction.com and buy some stuff there today. And then bunkerbasics.com. Go to bunkerbasics.com, where Bunker Bob will tell you basically how to prepare for food shortages, paper shortages, survival. I go and I buy my stuff through his Amazon affiliate links. I bought a year's worth of supply of food and some solar panels. I got my little USB based solar panel system. So I'm good to go. And I think that's a very good start to prepping, because let's admit, you don't want to farm that, not without the equipment. You don't. And I don't know if you knew this, the equipment is a lot of money. And so when the farmers all die and a bunch of liberal arts majors try to replace them, like, I don't know, the food is made. It's free. It should be free. We're taking over the farms because the farmers aren't making the food. I don't know how to plant seeds. I have a social work degree. I have a degree essentially in bitching and whining and complaining and being a parasite. That's it. And I don't know if you liberal arts and social science majors know that it doesn't result in food, you lazy fucking parasitic hacks. So I love to see you guys walking into a farm and learning how to add some diesel to a tractor, let alone the maintenance that's going to be required, let alone did you know that you just don't like put a seed in the ground and then a day later you got a cob of corn? Did you know that? Anyway, so when there's a lull in farming, which means there's going to be a lull in food, you might want to have some freeze-dried food. Go to Bunker Basics. And Bunker Bob will tell you what to get. That's it. There we go. All right, let's get with the rest of it. Tai Huando, $2 Indian Cappy. White people coming for our stuff. Well, weren't too wrong. Couple treaties there that weren't exactly honored, but there was fair trade as well. Actually, if I listened to a documentary, it wasn't as clear cut. Oh, the white man came and took things. No, there was trading going on. Hey, that island for a couple beads. Okay. You might argue about it, but it was voluntary. It was a voluntary exchange. But people would generally try to buy things from the Indians. But what a lot of time, I remember this. I was in Michigan, South Haven, not South Lyon, on the other side of the state. I remember I was listening to this at the gym. The settlers, the foragers, they'd run into a tribe and they make a con. You're like, oh, we'll buy this land from you. Well, the tribe technically didn't own that land. It was owned by whatever the rival Indian land was. So then all of a sudden the other Indian say, hey, what are you doing on our land? Well, they wouldn't say, hey, they'd just attack. We bought it from those guys. Those guys, screw those guys. It resulted in a little bit of chaos. So yeah, it wasn't exactly like the Securities and Exchange Commission was there with contracts and platted lands, and it wasn't like that. But I thought that was a pretty good deal, selling land you didn't own. I'm like, well played. Scrolling down, let's get here. The Blue Wrench. Doc is up to 629 subs. Awesome. Everybody, if you would check out Safety Doc. First, subscribe here if you haven't. I'm trying to close in on 100,000. And let's just admit it. I'm more important than Doc. I mean, we all like Doc, but I mean, come on, it's me. Doc wants to live in Caputa. What kind of guy wants to live in Caputa? But check out the Safety Doc. Obviously, his link is right there. You can find him on YouTube. Let's get him to 1,000 subs. So then he can make money. He can monetize. Christmas Black, the tornado chasing kid. $5. Aaron, you should do college classes so you can beat up who tried to steal your pizza. There's a video out there. I was doing a seminar. Wow, it was worthless. I was speaking at some college campus down in Texas. And these college boys, being idiots that they are, young boys are sophomoric, they came in one door and screamed and scared all the kids. And then I heard the door off to my left open. They tried to steal the pizza that we had. And I actually ran and tackled the kid up against the wall. And I said, "What are you doing here?" Like, "Huh? You want to give back the pizza?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay, thanks." I saved the pizza. Well, what do you expect? You pit 7 and 8 millennials, young millennials at the time, up against a Gen Xer. I mean, come on, man. It's not fair. Gen X is going to win every time. You soy boy, we go to a Christian school. We're so concerned, just so understanding and forgiving and turning the other cheek. He could barely lift the pizza. His fingers were all noodly and Gen Z, or what's it called, millennial-y. I don't know. It'd be like, what was it? The Israelis going, not the Israelis. It would be, the Israelites. Yeah. Going up against, not Samson. Who was the big guy? Goliath. He's just throwing them all around. That's what it's like. I mean, it's not fair. Come on. You got to get your David. Get him with the sling. Miss twice. Hit the third time. 3 times the charm. That's where that comes from. Really? I don't know. Sure. Yeah. That's where that saying comes from. David really looked back and said, "Hey, 3 times the charm." And then the Israelites applauded as Goliath died. That's your Bible history, as far as you know. James G, $5. Minneapolis versus Milwaukee versus Salt Lake versus Sioux Falls. Oh, I thought you meant like football team wide. Versus Boise versus Seattle. Which do you think has the most room to grow economically? Well, on a percentage basis, I'd say Sioux Falls because it's so small. Like if 2 people move to Sioux Falls, that like almost doubles its population. I'm kidding, but it's a very small area. And, if a company were to move to Sioux Falls, that would increase it significantly in terms of its economic growth. All the other ones, including Boise, are large company. A company moves to Chicago. That's not going to be nothing. Besides, Lori Lightfoot would probably just steal all the crap anyway. Seattle, same thing. It's pretty big. Minneapolis, Milwaukee, Salt Lake. So I'd say Sioux Falls has the highest chance of growing percentage-wise economically, but Salt Lake as well. Boise, maybe. Boise just isn't that nice of a town. It's not bad. It's up on the high plains. It's cold. It's windy. It's not pretty. It's not in the mountains. It's all right, but I would say Salt Lake probably is tied with Sioux Falls, and then Boise a close second. Minneapolis is a leftist Marxist shithole. We're going to get to that. Milwaukee is just a shithole. Chicago, obviously a shithole. Seattle, they are a shithole. They have people shitting in the streets, and they're an extra special SJW woke of shithole. Minneapolis is probably not growing, and we'll get to the topics of conversation later. SJ, $5 Canadian. Correlation, obesity and free healthcare. No, I don't think it's that. It's just we got cheap food. We got dirt cheap food. Technology has made it. We've eliminated hunger through cheap food, massively cheap food. I would say EBT also has not helped, like making food free. I don't know if that has anything to do with nationalized healthcare, though. Alex Patino, a truck driving Latino agent in the field. HR Karen, hate us because you make more money still single, living the life. Will no ask them out for a date. I don't think the HR gals hated you because you were a single guy. I think the HR ladies were just lazy people who didn't want to work and were power hungry people where they got to lord over your life. Like your livelihood, your survival. They got off on that control and have this arbitrary crystal ball bullshit where there are no clear rules. They got off on that. They enjoyed torturing people. They are some of the sickest, most vile, evil people ever. And thankfully they're gone. You really don't run into an HR lady anymore. The hiring manager is the one who does that kind of hiring stuff. But, yeah, if you ever run, and everyone should tune into Josh Fluke. All you young people, okay, fine. Back in the day, I was one to, Josh Fluke was just growing his first pube, and I was on the anti-HR gang. I was on the anti-worthless degree. I was Daniel Boone. Well, Josh Fluke is kind of like He's not the, what was Daniel Boo? Pioneers. Okay. I was the pioneer. I got some rough maps drawn in. Josh Fluke is heading up the settlers coming out. All right. He's the lawman. He's the gunman coming up, kind of laying down the law now. All right. So everyone go follow Josh Fluke. I've moved on further west. Now I'm in the Cascades of the Sierra Nevadas. Right? He's settling the plains now. But follow what he says. He's more aware and on top of corporate employment shenanigans and bullshit. I don't think, I'd love to hear from him. Like, is HR a thing anymore? I remember them being phased out, but I haven't worked in the corporate world in a long time. Are HR ladies a thing? Are you girls still around? And why are you still around? Shouldn't you like swim to Japan with a cinder block around you? Because you're really good swimmers, right? That's what I'm saying. Because I want you to see, I want you to break records. Really, are you still here? And anyway, if any of you, and since we have the Great Resignation going on, absolutely refuse to interview with an HR lady or HR guy. You just don't interview with HR. You don't interview with a hypocrite who has a faulty tool that they don't use but abuse to like make you dance and get off on themselves. You absolutely do not deal with witches and warlocks. Absolutely not. Not with something as important as your life. You don't waste your time. You could apply for other jobs in that time. Like and I did this one time, applied for a job. Like to have you come in. I said, okay. You're going to meet with Frank, hiring manager. All right. Well, then we're going to have you talk to HR. I'm like, no, I'm not interviewing with HR. And you're like, there's a pause. Well, I don't know if we can interview you then. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like, I do not interview with your bullshit shaman and their bullshit, not science, witchcraft, and be insulted and get pissed off, let alone waste my time. You don't deserve my skill and my talent and my ability. All right. And whoever passes the witch's little crystal ball meth fig of newt witch trial, if they pass that means the people getting through are a bunch of fucking psychopaths, a bunch of fucking wooey wowie woo, especially they're political. They know the political game. Dude, I just want to show up and do the fucking work, do a good job and go the fuck home. You pass HR, ooh, you're part of the community, you're part of the cult. I know, I hate Bobby too. Did you see what shade he shaded his Excel charts? OMG, let's form a little community against him. Like, oh my God. Like, that's basically what you're doing is if there's an HR person, you get in, congratulations, you're part of the Game of Thrones. Yay. All right, let me scroll. We got any more? Hex Alex. So I don't think it's about them not being able to date you. I just think they're evil people. Happy Men's Day. Black Kojak over our UK agent. Is it Men's Day? Notice how I don't care. I mean, yeah, Happy Men's Day, but we're not so vague. Yay! I was born with a penis. I'm so brave and amazing because me, and the way I was born, and pure instance and coincidence and chance. Dude, every day should be Men's Day because, like, hey, man, we're men. What am I going to do? I'm going to do what I want because I played my cards right and I didn't go no bitches pregnant, which is going to be the title of my book. Don't get no bitches pregnant. Every day is Men's Day in Cappy. Well, I got to do work and all that, but now this work is settling down. I mean, it's great. You play your cards right. Every day can be Men's Day. I'm going to fish. I'm going to hike to Rapid Creek. No, you ain't. Fuck private property, people. I'm going to podcast. I'm going to drink. I'm going to smoke. I'm going to do what I want. We don't need to have a day dedicated to us. And it's like, yeah, Happy Men's Day. All right, cool. Happy Men's Day, women most negatively affected. Is that what? See, there's a freedom. There's a larger philosophical point. Like, your life has got to suck if you're celebrating yourself, especially if the thing that you're celebrating is something you didn't do to earn, like you didn't create it. Like I celebrated paying off my house back in the Twin Cities. All right, that's accomplishment. You celebrate when you graduate from high school or college. Okay, that's an accomplishment. You celebrate with your buddies, you get a job. You celebrate like you fix up a car, you take it for a victory lap. You celebrate beating a team in some kind of sporting event or winning the champion. That's what you should celebrate because you put your effort into it and there was a heck, I'm going to celebrate having my house finished because I put a ton of work into this house. I celebrate finishing a book. That kind of thing. Celebrate getting a promotion. Celebrate that my parents screwed, didn't abort me, and I came out with a penis. Celebrate St. Patrick's Day. That's just an excuse to drink. But hey, celebrate because Cinco de Mayo, same thing. You can tell people take it legit the way they should in a fun manner when you ain't Latino, but you're celebrating Cinco de Mayo anyway. And if you don't know why Cinco de Mayo is celebrated, then you're having fun. You're not like, Mexico, yay. And even then, it was because they defeated the French, I believe it was. So there was an accomplishment attached. International Women's Day. Oh, wow. Your life must really suck if you take that seriously. Gay Pride Month. Again, we are very pro non-binary, just to cover it all because it's easier to spell it that way. Well, yeah, okay, yeah, have your rights. You celebrate the fact you like to suck dick for a month? Like, look, maybe you really like sucking dick, but shouldn't your energy and efforts been spending going to find new dick to suck? Not, oh my God. All right. Again, I admit, Gay Pride Festival, Gay Pride Parades, pretty cool. It's not the worst thing. It's like, okay, it's something to see. But for a whole month? Dude, even on my birthday, I didn't die, and the earth made it to the same spot it was around the sun again. I didn't die. Yay. Okay, we'll go out. But I that's a day. That's maybe an hour in the day you go hang out with buddies and friends. And after like the 50th one, people don't even start saying, oh, it's a birthday. All right. Celebrate yourself for a whole damn month? Because what type of genitalia you put your tongue on? No offense, but you got a life? I mean, you want to do something else maybe, huh? So I guess we could have a happy Men's Day. All right. Oh my God, I got a penis. Let me look at it forever. Thank God we're not so vain. It's a goddamn month. Oh my God. Thank God it's just a happy Men's Man, here, Black Kojak, to give it more authenticity with the law of supply. Okay, we limit the supply like diamonds, okay? We have Happy Men's Hour. Now think about what a statement that would make to the global community. Yeah, we don't need a month. We don't need a day. We're not that vain. We just need a Happy Men's Hour. Like Solstice Day, Armistice Day. That's what, not Solstice Day. Armistice Day. Isn't it the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month? World War I. Don't they just honor that hour? Or maybe it's with it. They narrow it down to unit of measurement in an hour. Armistice Day. But I think it's for that hour. And I think that's all we need. That would make it more poignant. Nah, we just need an hour. Why? Because we're not fucking jerking off to ourselves on fucking Instagram. That's why. Look at our Instagram. We got shit going on. It's not the fucking me channel starring me all the time. Oh, and by the way, my magical penis. Let me take a picture of that. Did I tell you I have a penis? Happy International Men's Month. Besides, women only want so much dick. They want a month of dick. James G, $2. I'm talking about great suburbs in each city. Oh, well, Sioux Falls doesn't have any suburbs. I mean, it's Sioux Falls. That's it. The growth, I still think Salt Lake. It's got a main metro. It's got mountains. It's beautiful. And it's not a bunch of Marxist SJW fuckwits from Mercer Island and Bellevue shitting in the streets, demanding free shit. It's not a city trying to implement an income tax. Yeah, and the suburb of Seattle is Tacoma and Renton. More white people shitting in the streets. Yay. I take that back. Tacoma, there are white people shitting in the streets. But Tacoma, the thing that Tacoma has is the most tatted up, fucking washed up Gen Xers you'll ever see up on the hill. Serving micro brews. Hey, man. That sleeve is starting to melt into one big purple, brown, blue mess. Yeah. Oh, hey, were you in the rockabilly thing? I could tell because you still wear that dress and it don't fit you no more, lady. But you made up for it with all those piercings. Hey, maybe if you shit in the streets, you could be really cool and hip. You could be down with the cause of the Tacomaites. No, Seattle, no. And even the suburbs, they're bumping up against the mountains. And so there's not enough roads going through. You get traffic in the burbs, man. It ain't worth it. Yeah, I'd say Salt Lake, then Boise. Sioux Falls ain't gotten. Sioux Falls is suburb. As you go far enough to the east, it's Minnesota. The suburb is Laverne, Minnesota. There's nothing there. Taekwondo, $2. So those names were old gangsters. Some prep. No, I think what they were doing is being very. That's an idea. Indian Aaron would have come up. Indian Capital would have come up. Hey, these sellers coming in. They want to buy our land. They're looking to buy. I hate whatever. The Iroquois. Let's go sell. The Iroquois, they got that hunting ground there. Let's sell it to the settlers. That's just smart. Laughing all the way. Won't the Iroquois be surprised when they get there, man? Oh. It would be off color, but I think there'd be a market for it. What if there was a lighthearted, kind of like how Norm Macdonald made mass murder funny? He actually did it. He pulled it off. What if there was a cartoon? And here we go. Let's throw it all into the stew. Hear me out. Anime artists, Japanese anime, American writers, not the SJW woke shit, just a bunch of us pissed off guys. We bring in American Indians as consultants and writers themselves. Like, okay, we do a comedy, Japanese anime, American Indian author, consultants, advisor, cartoon comedy about the French Indian Wars and the settlers and all that. See if you could pull it off. See if you could do it. Now, let's just have another dark, moody game of pointy chair show. Right? Cobra Kai, okay, the boys, those are unique and interesting. But I want to see if we could pull it off. I want to see if we could pull that off. Never going to happen because it's too creative. That's just too crazy. It might just work. Think about the same thing. I was reading about Hogan's Heroes. Because it was so close to World War II. This is in the late 60s. World War II was only 20 years ago. And they're like, you want to do a show about a concentration camp or a military camp, which is POW camp, difference. And there was like some apprehension. Turned out to be the best show ever. It's my favorite show, by the way, Hogan's Heroes. But I, just wondering, and then we could have the curmudgeonly old Cappy Indian who's always smart and outwitting the settlers. All right. You could have so much colorful characters on that one. You saw a little bit of that in Samurai Champloo, whereas during the Tokugawa period, and there's samurais and all that, but Americans came in, which was interesting. And there was obviously a huge hip hop influence into it, and it worked well. Sakura Watanabe pulled it off. I'm saying, could we pull off something like that again? Hey, the goddamn bacon. Also, if you would kindly subscribe to the goddamn bacon channel for $2.70. Cappy Saves the Pizza, a Netflix special. I don't know if it'd be more than one episode. Carl Peters, $5. Hey, from People's Republic of Chicagoland, time for me to move to Indiana. Look, if you're going to move, why would you move to Indiana? Why wouldn't you move better, like Tennessee? Warmer. James G. at the goddamn bacon. Oh, wait, he didn't pay. What am I doing? Giving people all that. Scrolling. Samuel Tack, $5. If you had the money, would you consider getting a taser in addition to your firearms and self-defense? I've thought about that, and I don't know. I'd prefer mace, actually. And I've thought about something intermediary, because in truth, you don't really want to shoot somebody and kill them. You certainly don't want to shoot them and then have them live so they could sue you later, which is it's guaranteed to happen. And you're going to jail that night. You may not go to prison, but you are going to jail. And a taser or a mace product is not lethal, and so you avoid a murder charge or a manslaughter charge in that case. I thought about it, but I'm also thinking like, well, what if they got guns and I pull out mace? Like they don't have their guns out yet, and they're threatening me, and I don't have, now I got to pull out my gun again, and things move too fast that you get one shot basically. That's it. If you're in like a land of pussies, like Europe where guns are illegal, well, you can't even get a taser or a mace. So I don't know. Have fun just giving your money away. Do. Okay, Elizabeth, unfortunately have 8 of them, and they are out of control. We'll get them under control. Boo, 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 boo. All right, I think we're all caught up. No, there they are, more away. I'm just trying to avoid. I know a lot of people don't answer super chat questions because they're busy, and I understand there's people busier than me, and they get like, look at people get $200 super chats. I'm like, holy shit. I'm gonna like you drop $5 like Clem. I have $5. Thanks, Clem. I'm gonna answer your question. $5. When you said back to analog, I thought of Gen Z's figuring out a rotary dial phone. Yeah, it's not that hard to figure that out. I've thought about starting a company, which I'm not going to, called Aaron's Analog. And somebody else out there, somebody, not me, do something. But there is a market to either build products that don't have a computer chip in them and try and do everything for you. Like upstairs, okay? I got an oven. The clock is off because of daylight savings time. And I don't know how many digital clocks I have that are just set on one time, and I just know, okay, that's off by an hour during the daylight saving months. And then it's on time for the other half of the year. Because I don't have, it's not obvious how to change the fucking time. And I'm just thinking, like, you know what? Analog ovens, analog refrigerators, and then analog cars. But the cars, what you're going to have to do is, here's something that I was thinking about. And somebody with a computer, guys, here's a multi-billion-dollar idea. It's called the denagifier. And you get when you plug in that thing to run a diagnostic in your car, well, you get kind of like a USB type of style plug-in. It plugs into your car, and now it'll take a lot of programming, and each year you're going to have to come up with new stuff. And it turns off all the warning bells and whistles and denagifying things and chirping and turns it all off. It denagifies your car. And it doesn't stop when you come to a stop sign. The engine keeps running. None of that shit. It undoes all the fucking shit people never asked for. It turns your car into an analog car, meaning it does what you fucking want it to do. Now, it doesn't guess. And it doesn't, like a fucking SJW nagging wife, give you a lecture or something. You get too close to the side of the road. You get too close to the center of the road. It just shuts the fuck up and does what you want. If you could plug that into a wife, there it is. There, you got some. I can plug it right. Boop. Honey, would you like a sandwich? Why, yes, I would. Okay, I'll put on the lingerie after I work out at the gym and come back and give you a sandwich and a blowjob. Thanks. There's a multi-trillion-dollar idea. Plug in the denagifier for your wife. Turns your wife into a nice wife. Boop. I'm going to work some extra hours so I can pay off my student loans. See you later, babe. I'll come back and give you your blowjob later. Bye. World's richest man ever. Was he a prostitute? No. He got the denagifying device. Boop. I'm going to go away now and just let you play your video games. Call me when you need me. Here's a bell to ring in case you need a scotch. Get a Nobel Prize for something. If I came up with that, I have to come up with, that would be dude, wars would go away. We'd be happy. There'd be no crime. Everybody be happy. Be no debts. Oh, whoever can figure that out. Jonathan McDaniel, $2. Hey, Cap, what advice do you have for quitting porn? You got, like any other addiction. Okay, here's two things. Now, you may want to talk to Paul Benjamin about this. Apex Mindset. He is skilled in this area. All right. That's his professional background, psychology. All right. And neurochemistry and all that. We're talking about addiction, and whatever it is, whether it's an external substance like alcohol, drugs, cigarettes, nicotine. Do you get addicted to the nicotine? Whatever it gets you addicted, there's an external chemical that your body then needs or thinks it needs. It doesn't really need it. It thinks it needs it. But also what that does, a consistent application to that, rewires your brain. And Paul called it the rewarding mechanism. And your brain will rewire to reward whatever substance that is. It could be booze, drugs, or but in the case of porn, the chemical is not external, it's internal. It's some kind of dopamine hit or whatever else it is. And 9 times out of 10, the reason you are relying on some substance, whether it's internal or external, no matter what vehicle that is, the reason is because you're not getting the dopamine hit from life outside. God fucking damn it. I fucking hate you people. Like, I hung up the first time and they called back again. There, turn off. Thank you, digital phone. So 9 times out of 10 is because you got nothing else going on. There's no better. You're not going to find a dopamine hit to make you feel good. And that's very common nowadays. Normally your family would be there, very ever so bluntly, and I'm simplifying it. I know I'm painting with a very large brush. Women don't really like men all that much anymore. And they certainly don't have an interest in forming a family. If they do have an interest in forming a family, it's not going to be a fun adventure. You are not. Okay, here. And if you don't believe me, go get this book, The Book of Numbers, Analyzing the ROI of the Pursuit of Women, Better Bachelor Edition, if you want to read Joker's intro. Women absolutely do not have men at the center of their focus of their life anymore. That is absolutely stated fact. That applies to the vast majority of women of marrying age. All right. So what would have normally given you a reward, ranging from everything from romance, love, sex with your wife, to being a father and spending time with your kids, even disciplining them, which was an investment, that's gone. So the number one thing that would normally be your primary source of purpose, reason, happiness, and joy is gone. All right. And is sadly enough turned into a pain where still half you people still get divorced. As you add socialism, and especially for men, you've been replaced. Your purpose and agency has been replaced by the government. Yes, that's an uphill battle. So it's a hard, you got to go and find purpose and meaning. And so that's where, if you read through this book, I even got Rich Cooper's book here. Found this when I was cleaning. This is another good one. Obviously read mine first because Rich Cooper, come on, he's Canadian. But in the last chapters of both those books go through what should you do? How do you find point, purpose, reason, and being in life outside of the opposite sex? And last chapters of those 2 books are there. So you have to find some kind of substitute. You could do things biophysiologically, change your diet, work out. But I'm going to tell you this is how simple it is, John. It's hard. I drank because there's nothing else to do, and it calmed me the fuck down. It was great. It actually worked. It did. It wasn't like bullshit. It worked. All right. But you can't live forever, drinking forever, or smoking cigarettes forever. And you got to find something in your life. I can't address the neurochemical stuff. That's where you get antidepressants. You talk to a therapist or whatever like that. But I do know, you got to find some kind of other reason to live, which is really hard to do when you're biologically programmed to chase and pursue and have sex and fall in love with women and to have your own little kids, right? I find great joy in my little nieces, and the handful of nephews I get to see every once in a while. They're fun. There's this work. I think that's a place that a lot of men could go, can be work. Could also be your hobbies or your crafts. I do adventure, but that's me. I mean, you're going to have to find out something else to do. And, but how do you quit porn? You quit porn. Like, you just don't do it. It's a policy. And I'm wrestling with the diet right now. And this goes back to, you need religion and you need vice. I need a vice. Nobody can live without vice. And is porn the worst vice? Not if it doesn't affect your life. I mean, there's worse things than porn. I mean, it's not like you're not going to work or anything. I mean, so that's not the worst vice. My vice is I'm eating whatever the fuck I damn well please. I'm going easy on myself. That's my vice. But maybe if you could turn something that's healthy into a vice, I don't know. Some people can actually flip it and go into the gym as their vice. That sounds a lot of pain. Maybe food is your vice, but replace it with another vice. But yeah, you're just not doing porn no more. And it's going to take about 2 weeks for your brain to rewire and no longer call out for that porn or whatever your addiction or your vice is. You may want, I mean, if it's that serious, John, you may want to take the minimalism course, which is not targeted towards porn, but it's targeted towards spending more than you make. And the principles are the same there. See, it'd be like an 80% overlap. Maybe there's something there that you could get to finally kick the porn habit. But if you're not showing up for work, you're not showering, like you're functionally otherwise, like, I don't know, it's not the worst vice. I mean, what's your opportunity cost as well? Are you fat? Are you overweight? Okay, your health, and now go out and hike. Yeah, give it up. But if you've got your life all together, otherwise, I can't lie, everybody needs a vice. Normally, men's vice was women. It was great, mutually beneficial vice. But that's kind of off the table now. So, that's kind of the only advice I got. Maxi Mike, $2 gonna party, making the 6 figs at $30 an hour, delivering pizza. You could over in Vegas. Swallow Blue, hang on, I got a little bit of a weak spell. I haven't eaten today. Just running off for coffee. You've clearly stated you've been to never been. No, I've been to Salt Lake City twice, 3 times, I think. I visited Rurb. One, we have a state income tax. 2, cost of living is almost LA living. Apartment requires 650 credit score. Houses are $500K. Salt Lake City? Are you saying something? Yeah, I've been to Salt Lake City. Are you talking some other place? Yeah, I knew that about Utah. Utah does have an income tax. I don't know if Los Angeles has Los Angeles cost of living. Did I get everything? Come on, load up. There we go. Polska Bob, $5. Cappy, you're all spun up. You sound like Pop. Pop's got a lot to say. Pop went through a lot. This Hanyaker, no doubt some Mexican poops. I don't know. We can't see it, of course. Can't see it. Black Kojak, 5 British pounds, which is like $7.50 American. Do you read the comments in your videos? Also, I'd love to see you and Josh talk about corporate America on Rolo's show. That'd be a good trifecta. Yeah. My experiences are going to be slightly outdated. Yes, I do read the comments on my videos because I need something to do at night before I go to bed. For a while, I didn't because I just didn't care. And I won't lie. The other thing is I'm building my house. I'm kind of alone. There's not a lot of people out here. When I go to the Southern Command, I'm alone. The Great and Merciful Coronachan, there's not a lot of socializing. I've kind of purged or have lost a lot of my better friends. And so I don't hang out, don't have much of a social life. So I've had, you can't work all the time. If you hung out with me, Black, we'd wake up at like 7, not together, not in the same bed, just saying, okay, you'd have your own room. Gee, Cappy, what are we going to do? Same thing we do every night, Kojak. We're going to bust our ass off. And so there'd be work going to the Menards or the Homie Depot. There'd be projects. I do asshole consulting. And then about 10:30, 11, all right, I'm done. But you can't just constantly work. And then so I just go through the comment section because it's somewhat of a conversation. Can't even do podcasting because you're tired. And so I do go through the comments. When I take it to recently, I found like the band hammer. And so all these people like, Cappy's just it's like the same. It's only like 3 people with multiple fake accounts. And anytime anyone like slams on my friends, calls me a fraud, or it's just being a dickhead, or it depends on the mood I am. Like not delete, but you can ban them. And then last night I accidentally banned somebody unintentionally, but it's kind of fun. So it's like, this guy, I can't believe anyone listens to him. Bleep. And it's kind of cool because it's like, these accounts are made. Like you look at the accounts and they're like a month old and no subscribers know. And I've always an avatar, some jack dude. This guy I don't know what. Unlike, yeah, okay, fatty, whatever. But no, generally I don't. It's just kind of I don't know. You need a calm down time. You need to relax. And there's so little on television. I just I don't want to watch TV. Mexi Mike, $5. Swallow right. Got contacts in Salt Lake City, Provo. It's crazy expensive. 1.2 million, 500. Really? Is that expensive? Plus alcohol is diluted. Idaho, Montana, and North South Dakota much better. I didn't know Salt Lake was that expensive. Okay. There you go. Look, everything's going to get expensive because we print off money printer gold burr. Oh my God. Atham found his wallet. What the hell happened? $5. I have too many vices, drugs, alcohol, sex, and rock and roll. But I also work tons. I get a pass. My vices sustain me and keep me sane. Yeah, because here's the thing. Okay, what are you supposed to live for if not the opposite sex? I mean, that's what you're put here for by nature, God. That's what you're driving. I'm talking men. I know girls don't really like guys that much. I got it. I understand. I'm talking for the guys. And if you take away girls, what are guys supposed to do? You can't just work all the time. You can't. I mean, work can become that's about the healthiest vice you can get. And one would argue that my work is my is my other vice in addition to eating whatever the hell I want. But you can't work all the time, and certainly not physical labor. Past 9 months, I'm not joking, I've been doing basically 40 hours a week of physical labor and 40 hours a week of not physical, like this type of labor, which admittedly is not, it's fun. I won't deny it, but God, there's times I do 9 hours of asshole consulting, and then all of a sudden it was dark when I woke up. It's dark when I'm done. I mean, that's not good for your mind. So yes, you need vice is the spice of life. You need vice. You need something, man. You need alcohol. You need drugs. You need music. You need creativity. I'm even getting to the point. This is why I'm somewhat okay. It's like, well, if the porn isn't ruining your life, there's worse. This is why I'm also starting to not come around, but I can understand, like, people get lost in video games. Like, some of my most fond memories was playing Red Dead Redemption because it's a great game. You can get lost. I fired up New Vegas, the Fallout. Just open environment, walk around, and I remembered how bad the controls were. I'm like, no, reload the fucking weapon. But I can forgive people for wanting to get lost in Skyrim. I can forgive people for wanting to get lost in I don't know if World of Warcraft is a thing anymore, but I can see where people went off to do, because there is no opportunity cost, especially with the great and merciful Coronachan. It's not like you could go to some meeting. Not like there was some cool event going on. And it's not like you're going to have a dance scene anymore because there ain't no pretty girls to chase after anymore. Okay, you go to the brew pubs and but that's alcohol. I mean, it really is going to be things like one-man activities, like your pipes. Uh-oh. Hang on. We're having difficulties. Okay, it's not my internet. It's something else. It's up with YouTube. I apologize. It's a little bit robotic. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, until the world comes up with purpose, agency, and reason. Like, if we had a good old no shit war, like a genuine World War III, all right, your depression would go away. Now it'd be replaced with the threat of existing. But oh shit, we better grab some guns and go do something. Oh, the Chinese are coming or whatever. But no, there's not much else to do. So I'm somewhat understanding. This is also why I get like not cripplingly depressed, but like somewhat defeated. I go to Walmart to buy something. I look around. It's like, fuck, man. Can there just be some okay, in shape, good looking people? Could there just be one? Not that I want to have sex with these bitches. Can we look and not see shit all over the place? 9 times out of 10, it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm by myself most of the time. I go and I run errands. I get food. That's about the most social contact I have with the wait staff at a place. Then I go for my daily hike or go to the gym. And then I go home and I work on stuff. That's it. And I think that's going to be most guys. And that's going to be the healthy ones. It's going to be the healthy ones. And if at any point in time, ladies, you'd like to help out, be thin, be nice, and indicate to a guy you like him so that maybe you guys could form a relationship. But we all know what the chances of that are happening. So my advice is sustain me and keep me sane. Also, Cappy sucks. Thank you. Thank you. Atham would have a character in the French Indian War anime cartoon comedy. We'd have him. He'd be the lost Mexican adventurer. He'd be like, where am I? What happened? Like, dude, you are way far off. Cortez, he's been dead for years. How the heck did you get up here? And what's with that the funny eagle hat you got on top of your head? I got a crazy idea for a flag because the Mexican flag is the most loud, crazy, way too much shit going on. Like the Italian flag, we just got 3 stripes of 3 colors. Mexico's like, watch this shit, hold our beer, or cerveza. We're going to get the Italian flag, right? And then we're going to put a landscape on it. All right, that's a pretty loud, Well, okay, we have some mountains, but wait, there's more. All right, you're going to have more than a mountain. Yeah, there's going to be a swamp. Okay, well, that's going to be a lot of stitching for the ladies making this flag. The Italians, they just patch together 3 things. Same with the Russians now. They just 3 things, and then they got a flag, and they go. This is going to take Betsy Ross a long time to sew this flag. Yeah, okay, but just a couple more things. Oh, my God, Jesus, Atham, what more are you going to add to this flag? Okay, so there's going to be a cactus. Oh, a cactus, no. And there's going to be an eagle. Oh, shit. It's going to have a snake in its mouth, man. It's going to be the coolest flag ever, man. We're going to have F-15s. What's it? Nuclear strikes. Just have a fuck shit ton of crap going on in the Mexican flag. And we'll win wars because people are going to look at the flag. Holy shit, what is that? They're not going to pay attention to us attacking. Someone must have been on shrooms coming up with that flag. It's like, Jesus Christ, what the hell's going on? It's practically a book. You got to take 10 hours to die. Ayn Rand. Did Ayn Rand design your flag? Fucking hell. Loudest flag on the planet. I don't think there's a louder flag than that. Scrolling down. Juan the Aztec Patriarch, $2. Will you ever try Mary Jane? Not really. I don't think so. I hate feeling guilt and shame. And the great thing is, like with alcohols, I could still do my job, so I'd bang it up. But there'd be a couple days where I'd have a no shit hangover. And I heard like some people react to the marijuana differently than others. Some people are just laid out for 2 days. Like, man, I don't want to be laid out for 2 days. Like if I get deplatformed and I got nothing else going on, like, yeah, maybe I would. Maybe I'd turn to drugs. I don't know. But Alex Patino, a truck driving Latino agent in the field, $10. My sisters live in Hennifer, Utah, right off the 84. One sister, her house is worth $600,000, while my youngest lives in a house built in 1911, priced at almost $300,000. The only reason is because it's Summit County. What's Summit County? Is that nice? Mexi Mike, $5. But if you prefer the warmer climates, little to no snow, Texas, Florida, Tennessee, even North South Carolina. Yeah, the Carolinas are nice. I like them both. You get the red state politics in the Rockies and a warmer climate. Yep. All right, let's scroll in here. A couple more, and we'll get to the news about the Twin Cities. Robert Flores, a lot of Latinos. Today's Latino hour. Today's Latino hour because we don't need a fucking day. Better looking people at Target. Plus, they are happy because they aren't poor. Yeah, but the problem with Target is go look up the diversity inclusion Kuantahaha. Just look at that mentally ill clown. You think Lori Lightfoot is an ugly woman? Go look at that freak of nature. And don't look at her and tell me, oh, yeah, she likes guys and white people. I mean, just look at that piece of shit. That's where your money goes to. And then they got the obesity. It's like, oh, give it the fuck up. At least Target, I know they probably don't hate white people or males as much. I'm sorry, Walmart as Target. Target is just the pretentious, suburbanite, liberal white soccer mom. That's what Target is. And I hate that. Then the welfare bum born into poverty, like a fair amount of the Indian community, because Indian reservations nearby, they didn't have the benefits of growing up in the everyday I need attention. They're legit dirt poor. Okay, I can grant them why they might have some reservations about capitalism and poverty and all that. I got that. I'm more sympathetic with that. Okay, you could go, all right. But I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie. Oh, I'm so good with the minorities and the children's and the black people. I go to Target and they donate $5 because oh God, you hypocritical piece of shit. Get the fuck out of here. Minneapolis mayor before the current one they got now, that was her. Prissy little bitch from Wayzata. Oh, I'm here to help the minorities because I know what I'm doing, everybody. I have a liberal arts degree. Yeah, you did a great job, lady. Those hypocrites I can't stand. Yeah, so fuck Target. Target is for those hypocritical frauds. Swallow Blue, $5. And the average rent now is around 1.4 to 2,000. I've heard some of the places 5 to 7,000. That's why I moved out. Though I live my state. I love my state. I know you were in I didn't know you were in Utah, so I thought you were over on the East Coast. Mexi Mike, $5. Hold our cerveza, Mexico. Also a war. What exactly would be worth for nothing? Good dudes be fighting and dying for. No war needed if we keep this up. Athen did tell me that Mexico has never started a war. It's true. They never started a war. Yeah, but I think that diversionary tactic with your flag, that's how you just sneak in and take over, man. Everyone's still looking at the flag. What's going on? I don't know. I'm still trying to make heads and tails of it. We'll have scorpions, and there's some buffalo, and there'll be a tank rolling up, and then there'll be this drunk nude. Hey, where's the nude? Drunk nude tits, girls with big tits drinking cervezas? Yeah, man. Alex Patino, $5. Summit County is where Park City is and is where all the skiing. Oh, okay. And the 2002 Olympics happened. Also, Sundance Movie Film Fest. Oh God, that's what. Yeah, that's. Speaking of rich, pretentious, liberal assholes. Really, Rob? You hate Walmart as much as I hate Target? I don't hate Walmart. I think Walmart is great. They've done more to raise people out of poverty than all government programs combined. It's the people that go in there where I'm like, God, here's a bag. They should just have a bag. The greeters. Here's your bag. Put it over your face. All right. Let's get to the articles from NPR News. This is Minneapolis Public Radio. St. Paul, Minneapolis voters back rent control. Minneapolis voters on Tuesday gave the city council the okay to put rent controls in place. St. Paul voters took it further, backing a ballot measure that will place a 3% cap annually on most rent increases. Advocates for rent control have just so you know, price fixing doesn't work. It's never worked. It results in shortages. You should have basic economics. If you came out of high school, they should have taught you this. You cannot arbitrarily set prices for things. It's idealistic morons. You could look at the mayor of both Minneapolis and St. Paul, but Mayor Carter, who is a laughable joke of a pussy of a man. Talk about a guy who's never worked a real job. It is overeducated. That's what happens when pussies with no real working experience, these soy boy men, come out and like, free thing. What is this? They're going to put a 3% rent. Okay. Okay. Don't know where the housing is going to come from, but all right. 3% cap annually on most rent increases. Advocates for rent control had argued during the election season that policies were needed to keep rental housing affordable and prevent extreme rent increases. Okay. The goal was to ensure everyone in the city has a stable place to live, regardless of their wealth or race, declared Berggren, manager of the Home to Stay campaign, Minneapolis. All right. And if you're looking how the population voted, 53% voted for it, 46% voted against it. And what was funny, it's a side note. So Minneapolis had a vote to the citizens of Minneapolis. And if I was more on my game for Operation Evil, I would have campaigned for this. It was something like 52-48. They voted to keep the cops, but only like a 4% margin. Had I known, I would have raised a ton of money to go and campaign to get the cops banned and kicked out of Minneapolis because I want those fuckwits to pay. That would be Operation Evil. They were that close. Almost half the damn population of Minneapolis don't want the cops there, which you say, but Cappy, in true Machiavellian form, wouldn't that be a waste of time? Because aren't they just getting more woke? Like, let's have this ballot on measure in 5 years. Should be enough people fleeing out of Minneapolis by that time, right? Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great. Best thing to happen in Minneapolis would be the cops to leave. The most oh, it'd be so wonderful. It'd be wonderful. Anyway, so but there's 48% of people that have their heads screwed on straight-ish in St. Paul, Minneapolis. Minneapolis, blah, blah, found that, okay, University of Minnesota Center for Urban and Regional Affairs, which is biased, report that examined rent control prices in other cities found that policies generally keep prices down and that there's little evidence of that rent stabilization policies lead to new construction. Less new construction. I don't believe you. That goes against all the other studies I saw back 20 odd years ago. That was before the big politicization. But hey, you want to lie to people, it's one thing to be homeless because there's not enough housing in Florida. Okay, it's warm. It's another thing when there's not enough housing in the Twin Cities in January. I don't care that you're going to run out of housing. I don't care there's going to be a short. And here's this report. We're going to get to another article that immediately within 24 hours debunked this. All right, so rent control. Twin Cities. We don't have to read through the whole article or the analysis. From CBS, Minnesota. Okay. Now, the first article, when they passed rent control, that was November 2nd. This is 2 weeks later, November 18th. Minneapolis residents shocked as some saw property taxes estimates rise 20% or higher. Many Hennepin County, get out of Hennepin County. I had my house in Ramsey County, the White Bear Lake. I got out. It's not the city. It's the county. You got to get out of the county. So everybody in Edina and the Wayzata and the Everyday I Need Attention, they're all paying more taxes now because of Minneapolis. Many Hennepin County residents are in shock after receiving proposed levies and taxes for 2022. Some saw their property tax estimates rise by more than 20%. This is especially true for many homeowners in North Minneapolis, some of who saw proposed increases as much as 40%. North Minneapolis is the bad part of town. Predominantly Black community lives there. And your heaviest Democrat voters. And you voted for Money Practical Burr. And now your property taxes have gone up because your property values have gone up. 40%. That property over there, we're going to tell you who you can rent to now. Minneapolis passed Section 8 stuff. We're going to tell you what you can and can't build there. We're going to limit what you could charge for rent to, that's St. Paul to 3%. But now we're going to increase your cost by 40%. I don't know how many times I got to tell you people this. You don't own your property in Minneapolis. That is the city's property. That is the people shitting in the streets. That's the people blocking the highway. That's the people burning down the building. They own that property. You are a fucking property manager, you stupid fucking stooge. Now know your fucking place, bitch. Your job is to go work hard, save up a down payment, take out the loan, put the risk on you, and then you are to provide free housing for the pieces of shit of Minneapolis who are not fiscally responsible. That's your job. Shut the fuck up and know your place, you dumbass Minneapolis homeowners. And certainly you landlords, you fucking stooges. The rent it's up because your home value is up 13% over a year is huge, said realtor Nate Pence. He added that the numbers residents are seeing on this first property tax statement are not set in stone. Not only raise the ceiling, raise your property tax values. For right now, the tax amount isn't set. It's just a range that it could go up by. These are based on the values that were assessed on January 2nd or so a year ago. In February or March of 2020, why is this playing? Why is this playing, CBS? Camden neighborhood saw some of the largest proposed increases in the city, but still considered one of the most affordable neighborhoods because people get shot there regularly. Some homeowners are looking for something under $300,000 that is in good quality condition. That's where you're going to see a lot of demand, Pence said. Property taxes will fund approximately 36% of the proposed budget. There's some areas, boo. Oh, and just so you know, in case you were wondering, they have a anti-hate initiative that multiple millions of dollars will be going to Minneapolis. And I wonder if that's just going to be a slush fund to employ a bunch of worthless liberal arts majors from the University of Minnesota. Oh, God. This is great. Oh, this just in. Brittany freed? Who's Brittany? Kyle. Rittenhouse freed. America's winning. All right. Did they come back with a judgment today? Okay, good. All right, that's good to hear. I didn't pay attention to it. I really would have no opinion on the Rittenhouse thing. All right, we don't have to go on with that article. Yeah, it's playing that now. I don't know. We're going to watch all the tuner-insers are going to drop off. So, property taxes up 20 to 40%. Rent caps, rental control, 3%. From the Star Tribune, November 6th. Developers pause St. Paul projects after rent control vote. But this is not possible because a bunch of academic fucks at the University of Minnesota just told me, well, studies show, research suggests. Oh, really? Because they just stopped. I think it's the largest housing development in the Twin Cities right now. Short version, there was a Ford plant where they used to build the Ford Ranger. It took up a lot of acres. It was a huge, huge piece of land. Pretty much, it's within the metro city limits of St. Paul. And they've spent 5-6 years hemming and hawing. You knew it would be a royal pain in the ass. Millions of dollars, millions of human hours wasted on how to get this thing going. They finally get it going, and now they increase rent control, or they implement rent control, and they limit the amount that you can increase your rent the day after. Unlike most cities with rent control, St. Paul will not exempt new construction, which opponents will argue force lenders and developers to look outside the city. Less than 24 hours after St. Paul voters approved one of the country's most stringent rent control policies, Nicole Goodman's phone started to ring. Developers were calling to let the city's director of planning and economic development that they're placing projects on hold, putting hundreds of new housing units at risk. You just told me, University of Minnesota urban and housing development fuckwit parasites, that this wouldn't happen. It happened in 24 hours. And I don't know if any of you academic fucks or you fucking worthless politicians and hacks know something, but you guys don't do shit. I don't mean politically. I mean, you don't build houses. And all your voters, all the parasites who live off of government largesse, who lay around and watch TV and eat and get fat, they don't work or produce anything either. So I don't know who is going to build the housing except the productive members of society. And they're not going to build the housing unless they can pay themselves and feed their families, not to mention cover costs. So if you're not going to allow them to charge the amount of money needed to make it so that they can build housing and people can make a profit all the way from the contractors and subcontractors to the real estate developers, to the realtors, to the owners, the owners, they want to make a little bit of a profit too. To ultimately who buys the property and the landlords who manage it and all that, they all have to pay the people, which creates jobs, by the way, if you know. But if you're not going to allow them to charge enough to cover the costs or to make enough profit to entice the entrepreneurs and the real estate developers to come in and do it in the first place, they won't. And now you just worsen the housing shortage, you dumbass motherfucking ditches. I'm a pussy. Mayor Carter, I'm a pussy. Go pussy. You know what a hammer is, Carter? You know what that is? You just got nice, soft, gingerly hands. I bet you live in Crocus Hill, Carter. That's where all the pussies live in St. Paul, if you were wondering. So great. Just, do you communists get it? You don't produce anything. You need the producers. Right? You either enslave them and force them to build under threat of death, right? Or you accept that they're not going to produce. Or you let them make a profit so they have an incentive to go to work. No one operates at a loss. I mean, just this pampered environment you worthless fucking liberal arts pussies grew up in, to think that shit just falls out of the sky. You truly privileged pussies. We don't want our equity goals to be at odds with our growth goals. Well, that's what it's going to happen, because equity means paying your lazy, parasitic piece of shit voters other people's money. That's not equity. It's not fair. The producers are leaving. Boom. Your goals are at odds. Goodman said in a presentation to the city council Wednesday, the ordinance as written may actually put those goals at odds. Voters' decision Tuesday to cap annual rent increases at 3% sent developers into a frenzy, prompting some with stakes in Minnesota's capital city to pause projects or reconsider sites for future housing. Unlike most cities with rent control, St. Paul will now not exempt new construction, which opponents argue will force lenders and developers to look outside the city for spots to feel more confident they will recoup investments and earn profits. We, like everybody else, here's where the pussy spokesperson from the companies come in. Say, look, you're a Marxist piece of shit. You never worked a real job. We're the ones that produce the fucking housing. You sit there on your ass and just act as basically a parasite broker, stealing our hard work to give it to your fucking degenerate pieces of shit that vote you in. All right? No, we're not building you housing. We got costs. We got to cover them. Fuck you. Enjoy your homelessness. You know what Operation Evil would really do is I just send more people to St. Paul, because there's going to be a housing shortage. And if I could get more people to set up tent cities in St. Paul, that'd be great. We are reevaluating what, if any, future business activity we'll be doing in St. Paul. Wow, that's pretty terse language there, Paul. I'm sorry. So Jim Stolpstad, who has worked on developments in St. Paul for 30 years as founder of Exeter, the company behind major projects like Grand Avenue's revamped retail corridor and new luxury apartments in the Cathedral Hill neighborhood. It's a sobering prospect, as many redevelopments, including the Hillcrest Golf Club and Boys Totem Town sites, enter critical planning stages. At the Highland Bridge site, that's the Ford plant, where construction is well underway. Ryan Companies was scheduled to submit 3 building plans to the city this week, but Tony Barranco, Ryan's North Region president, said Wednesday those reviewers have been postponed indefinitely in light of the referendum's outcome. Ryan Companies warned before Election Day that the rent control ordinance would prevent them from finding investors for the 760 affordable housing units the city played. Hey, by the way, why did that reboot? By the way, for all you developers, and starting from the lowly, duplex homeowner, landlord in Minneapolis, to big time developers, how many years have I been telling you guys not to invest in the Twin Cities? How many years? How many millions of dollars in wasted labor hours have gone into meeting after meeting after meeting and landscaping and putting in the infrastructure? We're talking at least $100 million in that one project alone. Do you believe these leftists? You believe parasitic pussies like Mayor Carter, who've never worked a job in their life, that they're just not going to take your money? This isn't advanced shit. This is like 5th grade logic here. Wait a minute. I don't own that? Well, you own it according to this piece of paper. You just can't do what you want with it. Yeah, but screw the piece of paper. I can't do what I want with it. That's really what this is, called fascism, if you guys were wondering. The irony that all you leftists are anti-fascists, all you Antifa people are for this, but it is the literal economic definition of fascism. Municipal fascism, right here. Ryan Company rent control, finding investors, and the city pledged to bring It's the city pledge to bring to the former Ford site. If our banking partners won't loan us dollars to build the buildings that are planned as market rate because they can more safely lend their dollars elsewhere, we will not be able to build the market rate projects that help subsidize affordable housing, Barranco said. Supporters of rent control, here, if you looked up any of these people, also, they don't have real jobs. Led by a grassroots coalition that petitioned to put the ordinance on the ballot, says developers are making empty threats. Come find out. No, you're not going to get the money. This happens in every city where new regulations are passed because they want to scare the city into changing the ordinance, said Tram Huang, campaign manager for Housing Equity, now St. Paul, which led the ballot. Do we have to really look up Tram Huang to find out he's a pussy too? Ramsey County Commissioner Trista Mattis Castillo, who voted for rent control, said she believes St. Paul population need for redevelopment will ultimately win out. I don't think development will stall, she said, but there will be some kinks that we need to get worked out. You know what? Fine. That's fine. That's fine. You go right ahead. Go right ahead. And what the problem is what the empty threat. You've made it clear that no one can. How many other projects in the future? It's not like now is the only supply of housing that's ever going to hit St. Paul, let alone Minneapolis. Your majority of your housing supply is going to come from this place called the future. And now that you've telepathed your move, you've stated very clearly people don't own their property, and you're going to limit the amount that people could charge. That's going to limit the amount of funds of money that'll come in from investors. Once again, I don't know if I've told you this, ranging from everything from the pussy mayor Carter to the pussy activist Tram. None of you build housing. None of you. You don't even shovel sidewalks. You are professional parasites. You produce nothing of economic value. So I don't know who or where you're going to find the real men and women to come in and build the housing to house your parasitic bum fucks. You unfortunately are going to have to rely on Republicans, conservative libertarians. There are some hardworking Democrats. I mean, you haven't totally replaced them with trust fund baby Democrats, right? There's got to be an old timer who still think, oh, the Democrats are for labor. He's like 83. So that Democrat, but all the Democrats from, all your colleges of St. Kate's, Hamlin, all those trust fund baby Democrats who don't produce anything. Your poor Democrats who live on welfare, over on University and like the burned down buildings, to your rich elite Democrats who live off of trust funds living on Crocus Hill. Not one of them build houses. Not one. They don't pump gas. They don't serve food. They don't make paper. They don't even sweep floors. They're just parasites. And they sure the fuck aren't going to do something as complicated and skilled as building housing with plumbing and electricity and all that. They're not tradesmen. Hell no. And so you can argue all you want. At the end of the day, ain't nobody coming to save you and build housing for your ungrateful, parasitic piece of shit voters. So, shock, your city's going to start to look like Detroit or New York or Seattle, where there's shit. Can we get to the shitting in the streets? Minneapolis and St. Paul are behind the shitting in the street competition. I'm highly upset. Seattle and Portland and San Francisco, disproportionately white people shitting in the street. We need diversity. You need to represent. We need to have more people of color shitting in the streets. That is no longer the domain and monopoly of the white man. We need women and minorities also shitting in the street. Now, San Francisco's doing a little bit towards that. But man, come on. Do you not want to be a first-class city, a world-class city like Seattle or San Francisco? Come on. Get in there. I think what we need is another government program to provide convenience and comfort for the shitters in the streets. If you were to put, it could serve as like not a shelter, but just something to protect people from rain, but you could put heat lamps. So while it's snowing or raining, there's heat coming down and people could shit on the sidewalks in comfort in St. Paul, Minneapolis. Because I think that's the main thing holding people back from shitting in the streets in the Twin Cities is that it's too cold. And then the shit freezes immediately on the sidewalk. And sometimes you get a urinesicle coming out when it's, 30 below zero. You don't want a urinesicle, So I think to become a true world-class city and true Democrat form, we need to get more feces and urine in the streets for Minneapolis and St. Paul. That's it. It's one of those things where you're like, you hate to see the city burn down and you think about it like, wait a minute, you're all a bunch of leftist fucks and you voted for this. And I have a buddy, both him and he owns several properties in Minneapolis and I own one. And now I've sold almost 20 years ago. Yeah, it was 20 years ago. No. Was it 20 years? 20? No, it wasn't 20 years ago. 15 years ago. We got out. His ex owns a rental property in Minneapolis. Gotta do it. Dude, it's like escaping Nazi Germany in 1934 as a Jew. It's like, man, we got out of there in time. And I used to try and, hey, guys, you got to get out. You got to, you're just crypto fast. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just so negative, Clary. I'm like, oh, shitting in the streets, going down Nicollet Avenue, shitting in the streets. And what's the other one? Washington, too, shitting in the streets. Urine and feces, if you're Hispanic or Irish Jew, shitting in the streets. Sweet feces, there is feces everywhere. Come on Crocus Hill or the Capitol, drop trow and take a shit. Now let's get through the super chats here. Boop-a-doop-a-doo, boop-a-doop-a-doo, boop-a-doop-a-doo. Cabby getting hungry. Let's chop Dre 360. Short man's guide to being tall. New York Times #1. Dre, you got so many good ideas. Why don't you just write them? This whole pursuing a computer science degree, that's not your true calling. Yeah, it'll get you 100,000. I think you could make millions with your own Operation Evil. Sam Whiskey, $5. The great and merciful Coronachan showed us what people were made of in 2020. Right. Sam Whiskey, $2. It's a war on capitalism and the math doesn't add up. No, it is a war on cap. What it really is, it's a war on freedom. It's a war on individual rights. It's a war on individual sovereignty. And the morons, and here's why I don't have a lot of sympathetic. I knew people who were landlords in the Twin Cities, all Democrats, all leftists. They all voted for it. And I can't get sorry for them. There's a group of people, naive people, who thought, oh no, I'm gonna rent, and people are good deep down inside. People, no, most people are parasites, and you gave them the opportunity to be parasites. Not only that, you've indoctrinated them through a school system now of almost 2 generations, where you taught them to hate productive people, and the people who are successful and worked at it and have more money than them benefited unfairly, and now they hate you. And these naive, dopey Minnesotans, the Minneapolitans, actually, like, I can't believe it, but I voted Democrat. I'm with you, people. They're burning my house. Fuck you. That's what you get for calling me a fascist when I wasn't one. I was just trying to fucking defend freedom. Fucking assholes. No, it's just basically parasites trying to live off of producers. That's it. And they can codify it as we're fighting against capitalism or tyranny or colonial, whatever. No, you're just a lazy fuck who doesn't want to work. That's it. That's all you're doing. It's not complicated. We don't need to throw race or gender or other traits. We don't need to throw in colonialism. No, repeat after me. I am a lazy fuck and I don't want to work for a living. And on top of it, I'm jealous other people have more. Instead of just stewing in my jealousy, I want to destroy what they got, even though it's not going to help me out at all. Matter of fact, it's going to hurt me more. And the people they're fucking up are a bunch of leftist assholes back in the University of Minnesota thought they were just so above it all. We just know somehow we're just here to help the people. I can't wait till they start going after Kenwood. Kenwood is kind of like that last, but Kenwood in Minneapolis, Crocus Hill and St. Paul, those are the last bastions of any nice housing. I can't wait till that goes away. The Uptown, Minneapolis Uptown, oh, that's torched. That's gone. That is a shell of its former self. It's all gone. All gone. You're all going to look like Detroit. And whatever the nice neighborhoods in Detroit were, they're all gone. That funders, like, smoke pot in the 70s and the 60s, thought you're cool and all that. Yeah, you better sell your house. Same thing in Crocus Hill. Nonstop Dre, 2 books. Who do you think you are, economist or something? You don't have to be an economist to know that these people are just trying to get free shit. That's it. Not complicated. Alex Patino, $5. Nonstop Dre, have shit tons of money. Smile, dress appropriately, be confident, the end, and be tall. I've been listening to Wheat Waffles, and he's a bit very clinical, but he's got a lot of numbers and data. His analysis is very, very clinical, very scientific. But it's even a little bit dark for me. I guess it is the black pill, though. Nonstop Dre, $362. Cappy Kids books. Oh, the poops you will see. Is Juan, Juan, you got to put together that coffee table book. Here's what I want you to do, though. Juan should put together types of poop, types of San Francisco poop, and he gets up close shots of poop and the story behind each turd. And like there's runny poop, and he could speculate, this is after they did heroin and the heroin poop and this type of poop and that type of poop. Because there's like types of poop for animals, right? There's different types of poop. They do scat books, right? You could do human scat books. This is a long-haired hippie meth head, all right? A white guy, okay? Here's your fat black woman in a wheelchair poops. You take a picture of the wheelchair because she got out and walked out and uses the wheelchair as a prop, okay? I mean, he's there. He doesn't have to work that mechanic's job anymore. I'm not the only one that could be an author. Dre, you could be an author. Juan, you could be an author. Everyone could be. Alex could be an author. Rob Flores, $20. I can't convince my siblings to sell our rental properties in California. If I were early in my 40s, I would insist. I'm older, so the effects of socialists may pass me, as I will probably be checked out. Can you demand to be bought out? I didn't think you're that old, Rob. I thought you're like in your 20s or 30s or something. Man, yeah, see if you can't get bought out. I'd get out. Nonstop Dre, $362. Freedom is oppression. Oprah's book list. Hang on. Maybe taxonomic key to scat? It could be, yes. Jill, there's a woman here. Anthem. Another woman got in. A new one. I don't know who Jill Pruitt is. How the hell did she get in? All right, that's it. Thank you very much for all the super chat donations. All of them go to me and not Chad. I don't know where Vlad Elkins is. I think he's just taking it easy. I got to go get breakfast. And then what do I got to do? I got to do stuff. I don't know what it is. I got my to-do list upstairs. That's it. All right. Let's do the League of Extraordinary Podcasters. And then we'll go through the great Coronachan prayer. League of Extraordinary Podcasters. Pushing Rubber Downhill, which isn't podcasting anymore because Piggott is just doing a blog. Pierre San Giorgio, Donovan Sharp, Day by Day Cartoon, The Masculine Geeks, The Goddamn Bacon, Jack Napier's Red Evening, Turd Flinging Monkey, available on BitChute, David Perodin, SafetyPhD.com, Better Bachelor, Rule Zero, Troy Francis, Modern Life Dating, Ryan Stone, and we got The Goddamn Bacon, Silvio Canto Talk. I think that's about it. Oh, and then if you would kindly buy TFM 13 Rules Not to Be a Cuck, The Way of Monkey book, and Luca Vendetti's MGTOW's Guide to Retiring at 200,000 in Southeast Asia. Even whether you're a MGTOW or not, doesn't matter. Let us bow our heads in prayer. Dear great and merciful Coronachan, thank you for your non-sentient and zero fucks given truth. The teeth and threats that have been missing so much in the real world that are yet necessary for us to value life, acknowledge truth, and love our fellow man. May your nature continue to expose the evil and parasitic among us, the lazy and those that put themselves above all others, our slave masters who have kept us enslaved, teachers who can be replaced by YouTube, and the stupid and unprepared who ride for toilet paper when there is none. Bless us, O great Coronachan, and reward us, specifically those of us who are smart enough to have a 1-month supply of toilet paper and who stocked up on 5.56 ammo as a matter of basic insurance policy. And may thine blessing come in the form of lower asset prices, less boomers, less traffic, cheap gas, and near-free airline flights. In thy name, Wuhan, Wuhan, amen. Any other super chats? No other super chats. And we're out of here. Toodles.